Hey, it's Jeff here at Gigafactory, Texas, in Del Valley, Texas, and it is Sunday, so it's time, thank you, Mr. Truck, it's time for another Construction Disneyland episode. I think this will be episode number 3 on day 74 here at Giga, Texas. I know that whole thing sounded a little confusing, but it all makes sense if you've been watching. All right, now, here we go, and I'm going to talk a little bit at the beginning here. Let me get out of the way. Alrighty, so we're going to go up. And before I really get started, we are going to acknowledge that today's video is going to be largely based on Joe Tetmeyer's 3 October, as they say, video. And that's yesterday's video. Because there's a lot of information. It's just an information-packed video, and so a lot of what we're talking about today in this video is going to be based on that. So if you enjoy the content from today, please feel free to use the link in the description below to check out Joe's video. And we are starting here fairly low. There's nobody, let's see, is there anybody here? I don't think there's anybody working this area. Let me just get some shade on my monitor so I can actually see. But we want to see how close the grade is getting to the level where the foundation is going to be poured. And it's looking like it's getting closer, and it's hard to see without, or hard to say without seeing a truck. But yesterday in Joe's video, it looked to be, to me, and I'm just taking a wild guess here, but maybe about 10 to 15 feet of difference. Some people say 6 feet of difference, but those trucks are bigger. I think the trucks are taller than 6 feet tall. And this was, the difference seemed to be as tall or taller than some of the trucks. So, that's my take on that. And again, we're talking about this northwest corner where the pond used to be, and they're going to be finishing out this corner of the building very soon. And moving over to the east, we're going to come down a little bit. In fact, I'm going to go in the car so I can see. I'm getting a lot of sun glare on my screen, and I just cannot see. So we are going to hop in the car here, make sure my audio continues to roll. The first time I did one of these videos and I got in the car, I had the phone in my pocket that was recording the audio, and somehow I turned the audio off, so I did a whole battery of recording. Maybe I already told this story. I'm just going to stop telling the story. I think I told this story last week to somebody, maybe to you guys. But anyway, we want to make sure we're not doing that today. So here's an area on the east side of the main foundation of the building where they look like they're leveling up a little bit. So we can expect that maybe they're putting the final tweaks. And let me look. You know what, I'm going to zoom in, so don't freak out when I do this. I'm not actually going to be flying that low. I'm at about 125 AGL right now, and we're going to zoom in. And we're just going to fly like this for a little bit so we can get closer looks at everything. And there was also a truck down here yesterday that I want to try to take a closer look at. But yeah, so I think they are doing some kind of final grading here to get ready for foundation, just based on all the information that that we're kind of seeing as a result of the vehicles and the configurations of cement activities with the batch plant, for example, and just everything that's going on. It just seems like next week, this coming week, starting tomorrow, is going to start getting pretty cool. Let me pull this up a little bit. Wrong way. Okay. There we go. And so we're also, we got geopeers here, by the way. Are they geopeering or are they just appearing? Whoops, where am I flying? First day at the controls. All right, let's make sure we're watching. It's a little harder to fly on zoom mode because I'm not used to it. So I have to be really careful not to fly into something like those high tension wires. Everything else I'm way above. But it just doesn't look like I'm that far above because we are zoomed in. So here is the casting pit right here up in casting land. And it looks like there's a couple of foundational areas, and I'm getting a connection warning, so I'm going to step back outside. Sorry, everybody. I forgot I was connected to another phone. Okay. Still rolling. Okie dokie. My mic screwed up, apparently. And perhaps next week I need to figure out a way to have headphones on so I can hear if my signal is messed up, because now I've got a whole section of the video where I have no idea what I was talking about. So I'm just going to look at the screen here and see. So obviously we have these two rectangular sections that are going to be reinforced more than the area is already being enforced. And this is for the casting machines. This is casting land down here in the southeast corner. And so these will be additional reinforcement for something either extremely heavy and dense that is going to be resting in those two spots, or maybe a process, a mechanical process where something is smashing down or compressing and causing a lot of weight going toward the center of the earth. So that's kind of exciting to see that level of detail. And these up here, I believe, based on other information, that this is more structural foundation or pre-foundation, or I don't know, but my understanding is those at the grade level are more related to the building itself rather than any casting or stamping machine, which this square-ish indentation is for a stamping machine, Joe believes. And of course, I only tell you things that Joe says that I agree with, so I think that makes the most sense just based on Berlin and just all the other examples and looking at the machines online and so forth. So I think right here I talk about being too close to the wires and not realizing, because I'm not used to flying on zoom mode, that the drone is a lot further away. Like this is where we're at right here. And so I was like into the wires without even realizing it because I was on zoom mode. So not cool, not good, not to be replicated. Lesson learned. So audio lesson 1, have monitoring of your audio so you don't have to redo half your video, which I don't mind, but you know, it's just kind of weird. Lesson number 2 from today. Don't fly actively around high tension wires in zoom mode. Stick where you are. Do a time lapse. That's the lesson. All right, so we're going back where what are we looking at here? Sorry, I have to move my head to see the screen, and then my mouth moves away from the mic. That's poor planning. Actually, it's not so much I have to move my head. I have to move the angle of my eyes because I'm wearing my glasses, and they're actually bifocals. Don't tell anybody. And I have to be able to see certain things from the lenses at the bottom of these glasses. And so I tilt my head up and then my mouth moves away from the mic. Okay, I'm sure all of you are so glad you tuned in to this video so you could hear that statement about how I don't like my glasses. We're getting close to the audio resuming section. There is a point where the audio goes back to normal, and I've never looked forward to that point more than at this very moment. Okay, let's get back into the video. So this is the stamping / casting area. Keystone is obviously maybe not working this week. I mean, they weren't working this weekend, at least from a active standpoint, like all hands on deck. I don't know if that's an every weekend thing, because it's like Chick-fil-A, where they give everybody Sundays off, for example, at Chick-fil-A, so that you can have family day. And so Keystone, I don't know. We haven't interviewed them yet, and we don't know if they just give their people the weekends off, or if this was a strategic pull of crew in order to prepare for, I don't know, like Concrete Hell Week. And, you know, I've got my fingers crossed for Concrete Hell Week. Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive in. Let's get this done. But I don't mean for it to be, you know, a negative experience for the crew. I want them to have a fulfilling experience. And but I just mean I want a lot of action, man. I want to see action this week coming up, because I think there is going to be some, based on the indicators, and we're definitely getting closer, and things are happening. We're seeing cement mixers on site. We saw our first pump truck last week. That was exciting. And we're going to see more rebar coming in, and other indicators that we're just going to get more serious about cement. I think at this time I'm heading back to get inside of the car where the audio. Get back in the car. My connection is getting weak. Which reminds me, I just ordered, I'm going to be so happy, I hope this comes in by next week, but I ordered the DJI Smart Controller, which gives me much better range. I think up to 6 miles or 6 point something miles of range. And this is less than a mile where we're at right now, and the controller is already complaining. So when we get that controller in, we'll be able to do all these flights, and I'll be able to see from inside the car and without the glare, and it'll be much easier to do these Sunday Fun Day videos with that controller. Plus we can cover a much larger area of the property, and that'll be fun as well. Looks like we have a visitor here.
Are you Joe or Jeff?
I am Jeff.
Jeff, okay.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Ray.
Ray? Good to meet you, Ray.
I'm one of the patrons for Randy.
Oh, so, awesome. Well, on behalf of Randy, thank you very much. We all appreciate all the support.
Wonderful job. I watch the site every day, all 3 or 4 of you.
That's awesome, man. We really appreciate your viewing and your support. And hopefully you watch the full commercial at the beginning to give us the full pop on those. Yep. But yeah, we really appreciate the support, and that's awesome. We're actually in the middle of our Sunday Fun Day Talk and Fly video right now. Oh. So do I have your permission to use what our conversation was? Because it's going to be part of the video now.
Yeah,
okay.
You do, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
The last time they had the big Tesla meet up here, people drove in from Utah and all that, so I thought, the least I could do is drive down from Leander.
Right, yeah, you're a lot closer than Utah, that's for sure.
It's more impressive when you see it.
I know, you just can't get it on video. No, it's impossible to appreciate. So
I came by here on July 23rd, when the day after they announced it, to look at it. It's unbelievable. It's
transformed. Yeah, it's unreal. Like if I didn't see it every day with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. I would think it's all CGI and it's all just one big hoax. But it's real.
I've worked construction and all that for years. My son-in-law has a steel erecting company. We hope to get some contracts out here to set these columns and steels.
Where is his company based?
His company's here in Leander.
In Leander? Okay. Leander's about a 30 to 40 minute drive
north
from here.
About 40 minutes from here, just north, Cedar Park, Leander area.
Well, man, I'll keep my fingers crossed that he gets the contract or a contract. That would be awesome. In fact, you should definitely stay in touch with us on that, because if he does get the contract, it'd be great to do a little interview and maybe even get us closer to the site for some limited access.
Yeah, because I'm retired, but I'm also the safety director for them, so I will have access.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's awesome. Well, do you have a card?
I don't, not with me.
Okay, let me give you my card.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna pause the flight, everybody, for just a moment while I give Ray my card. It was Ray, right?
Yes.
Okay. Here you go, sir. That's my card and my day job business, but the number gets you to me.
All right, good, yeah. So, I'm supposed to pick up my Model Y Tuesday, I hope.
Oh, nice.
And drive down here from my Cybertruck.
Well, congratulations on the Model Y, and I'm with you in line on the Cybertruck. So,
what number are you? How far?
You know what? My number is so bad that I didn't bother memorizing it.
I don't know the number, but I'm about 97,000.
Yeah, I'm after you. I'm after you. You'll get yours before me. I was late to the party on the Cybertruck.
Well, I'll let you continue with your work. You do a great job.
Thanks, Ray, man. Appreciate you. All right, that was Ray, everybody. What a nice gentleman. And apparently, I don't know if you were able to hear him on the lav mic here, but his son runs a steel company up in Leander, which is about a 30 to 40 minute drive, depending on if you drive like me or not, from the site. So it's local. And they are bidding on some contracts for Giga Texas. So, man, fingers crossed for Ray and family that they get that contract. That would be awesome. And then you heard it right here. If you could hear Ray, he's the safety director for the company. And so if they do get the contract, he'll have access to the site. And I gave him my card. So let's hope that means that we might get an invitation to get a little closer to the site, maybe do some audio recordings without the crickets and get some great on-the-ground footage, maybe some 360 stuff. And you know what, mentioning the 360, I was actually going to do the 360 camera with this Fly and Talk video today because I thought, it'd be cool if I talked and then people could look around not only at what I'm talking about, but they could look around in the other areas and maybe find some interesting tidbits if they're not as interested in what I'm talking about. But the problem with that is it really shortens the flight time on the drone because it's so heavy. The camera is so heavy hanging off the bottom of the drone that I maybe get 60% out of the battery. So if I can make it, say, this far on one battery, I can get about halfway here when I'm carrying the 360 camera. So it's not very efficient. There'll be a lot of battery swaps, a lot of starting, stopping, and resyncing the audio. And if you guys are interested in a 360 talk and fly video, let me know, because I'll do it if people want it. No problem at all if people have an appetite for it. But if it's just something that I was going to do because I could and nobody cares about it, then I'm not gonna go through the headache of trying to make that happen. But for you guys, I absolutely will, in a heartbeat, even if it's just one person. But be honest. Don't just tell me to see that you can manipulate me. I am still an autonomous channel. Oh boy, little rabbit hole there. All right, so we can see it's clearly Sunday. We've got all the tractors and construction gear parked for the most part, but there's still a lot of activity going on for a Sunday, actually. And we are coming up to 27% battery, so that means it's time for a battery swap. So let's pause and we will do a battery swap. Okay, we are back in the air, and no, I'm not picking up where we left off like I normally would with a battery swap. When I do battery swaps, I try to do a crossfade and just literally try to be in the same spot. So today, I'm not going to care about that. I'm not going to fly smooth. I'm not going to do any of that normal stuff because today is Sunday Fun Day. We get to do whatever we want. within reason, of course. Yeah, so I love looking at these trucks doing their thing, especially on a Sunday. It's exciting because I think what this means is they're getting ready for a big Monday. A big Monday. And that is exciting. And get my bearings again here. Look at that. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. All right, let's get back to the east side. Now, there's a lot going on here, and I'm going to go a little bit higher. Go about 250. And Joe has pointed out a lot of things over here are going on, and so I just want to make mention of a few of those. But obviously what we're looking at right now on the east side, on the other side of the high tension wires, is the switchyard area where all the power equipment is going to be. Or not all, but a lot of the power equipment. Whichever equipment needs to be switched. I guess voltage switching? Not sure. I am not an electrician either. Alright, and then the road, the access road, as Joe pointed out in yesterday's video, October 3rd, and again, link in the description on Joe's video from yesterday. This was the main entrance over here for this construction area, south of Harold Green Road. This little intersection here is where the Martin Marietta sign was, and now it's the Tesla sign. Take my word for it. Here, let me see if I can zoom in on the Tesla sign. Whoops, wrong way. Anyway, there is the Tesla sign right there. Yay, Tesla, it's official. It's been official. All right, so here's the deal. Joe talks about all this grade area being the same grade so that eventually they're going to move Harold Green Road altogether. The access road, as I was just mentioning, is gone. Look at this thing. The road that goes to the south of this little intersection area, that used to be the main way in, and that is now, I believe, blocked off. I mean, you can't even get like a full-size construction vehicle through there, right? So obviously they're not using this anymore. And in Joe's video, he actually followed this to see kind of what the path of the trucks are now. And they have to take a much longer path. Instead of coming out right here, they end up going way down. Let me see if I can just do this. See that road? Just kind of in the, almost just above the middle of the screen. That's, they go all the way down there. And then there's another checkpoint. Where is it? Or is it the further road? Anyway, we'll fly, let's just fly down there and check it out for ourselves. So yeah, see the trucks there. Okay, so they're coming up this way, totally much further and longer and more time, and they're getting paid per load, so they weren't happy about this at all. They're probably thinking, oh, that stinks. But you know what, that comes with a construction site. You got to roll with it, man. It changes. The whole idea of construction is constructing things and changing topographies, and they probably are used to this happening. And sometimes they win because then there's a shorter path, like up north on the Starship launch pad. They can come right off the 130 with the raw goods for the batch plant and dump it right there. So that's a very short path with a new road. And in this case, the new road, it's not such a great path for at least this stage of the construction. But that's all part of the growing pains of a construction site. And I'm sure these workers, all these guys and gals, are top-notch professionals, and they get it. They understand the big picture, and they know, hey, if we have to drive a little bit longer for the same money, for now, we'll suck it up, we'll do it, because soon enough there'll be another road that'll be shorter and they'll make even more money and it'll, you know, feel like a coup. All right, so this is where the trucks, the Martin Marietta cement mixer trucks, are kind of being warehoused. Let's see. Sorry, I get a lot of zebra pattern on my screen because I should turn that off. I'm sorry, I am wrong. These are the East Construction offices. Man, was I way off. These are the East Construction offices, which we believe to be, at least that one on the right is Keystone, and there's a Keystone container right there. And then these may be Ranger, or are they Keystone? Are they all Keystone? Because Ranger has their big offices just a little bit to the west of here. Right about there. There's the Ranger World Headquarter Construction offices for Giga Texas. And now we're going to go over. Okay, so I was like way off on this truck path thing. I was following the wrong road. All right, so they're obviously coming down this road. And there, okay, that's what I thought. There is the warehouse of cement mixing trucks, and here's the new checkpoint right here. Sorry, everybody. Man, I got turned around there. That just goes to show how much this site changes, how quickly. I fly it every day, and I still can't keep up. All right, so yeah, so these guys and gals are having to drive all the way around, and now I'm going to show you. Okay, so they're driving back out onto Harold Green Road, and they used to be able to come in, see all this distance, expending diesel fuel all the way. And here's our intersection where the Tesla sign is now posted, up just above the middle of the screen. And they used to come out right there, so it was a much shorter distance. So that is the pathway. But everything I said before applies, because these guys are professionals, and I bet not a one of them are complaining because they know maybe in another week or two they'll have a different road. All right. So now here's another area of interest. The transmission tower, which could be like a cellular or GPS type of related thing for on-site activities and communications. It is surrounded, as Joe noted, by construction fencing, which typically construction fencing kind of indicates the boundaries for a particular part of the process. So it just makes it clear where we're working, right? So nobody makes a stupid mistake. And so the idea here is maybe we're getting closer to these buildings being demoed, because they're starting to set it up like a construction area with construction fencing, which means construction, or in this case, deconstruction or demolition, will be occurring soon. And I imagine this entire chunk right here will just be flat like all the rest of the dirt surrounding it, because that's what it needs to be. And this is all seeming to be phase 2, or maybe another phase, because it's not on the phase 1 construction site plan that was released a short time ago. So that's all very exciting that multiple phases are being conducted simultaneously. And here's that house, and I think it's a chicken coop, not a dog house. I mistakenly identified it as a dog house, and then when I looked at the video on post, it clearly looked like a chicken coop. But on this little screen while I'm flying in real time, it's really hard to see because it's so tiny. And but I think I remember it being a chicken coop. But either way, there's no chickens being harmed in this video. Although I have to admit, I am going to have chicken on the grill later this afternoon, so there will be some chickens harmed for dinner or late lunch. But they're going to be delicious. It's going to be an honor for those chickens to have given themselves to such a wonderful dinner. All right. So here's the closed down plant that's not going to be used. We think this is going to be demoed as well because it's just old, crusty, empty, crunchy, old technology, in the way, eyesore, etc. And this right here, now let's take a closer look at this. And we're above the high tension wire, so we're going to zoom in. Now, Joe mentioned if this were going to be a retention pond, meaning or a detention pond for use of the batch plant up on the launch pad there, then all of the walls of this would be treated the same, yet we've got some variations in the wall structure. So his interpretation would be that this is all just being brought to grade, and it's probably a similar or the same grade as the rest of the main area right now that's being worked on. So this is possibly going to be an area where something is built rather than water is placed. And so that is kind of the idea, at least what we think right now. Who knows? It's fun to speculate. That's half of the fun of these things. Let's go down into that pipe. Yay! Love flying. All right. Let's get some turn action here. Now, I did notice in yesterday's video the wastewater treatment plants, you know, the portable ones from the rental company. What's the name of that rental company? Anyway, they were moved, and they are now part of the batch plant. So we're going to take a closer look. They were over there on the left, and now they are right there. There they are. All two of them so far. Oh, zoom. Come on, man. Get with it, Jeff. So there it is. And in the office there, I wonder if that's where the control center is for this operation. So I saw a picture, and I'll try to post it here. And it looked like it maybe was set up in a similar type of trailer, so I bet that's what that is. That's going to be the operational office of this plant. And this is all very exciting and new. And based on our earlier discussion of porta potties, check this out. Ooh, stop. Man, I hate being on this zoom mode. Let me zoom out for, oh, okay, I wasn't in danger. You all tuned in to hear Jeff panic today. How exciting. All right, so the porta potties, oh, wrong way, Jeff. Okay, so we have 4, so now we know that there's probably going to be around 40 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. So according to the regulations, there's going to be 40 people approximately on this site. Maybe. At least it's a heading we can go in, right? I mean, I don't know if batch plants need 40 people. Maybe it just needs one dude, and then the trucks roll in. I have no idea. Or it could need 40 people. Or the 40 could include whoever's in the area working on similar but different things. And all right, here's another part of this area is this new access road back there. Look at that. Let me go up. Let's go up. Up, and away. There we go. We're over the high tension wires. So this access road is new as of, I guess, a few days or maybe a week ago. I'll have to go back and look. But this goes right to the 130. Look at this. It's not even an off-ramp or a side road. It's the actual freeway. So when trucks are cruising down the 130 at 80 miles an hour plus, they are going to be able to get off right here. And that construction between the two directions of the freeway, that's all a state program to widen the freeway. And I don't know what their progress is. Some people have asked about it, and I flew over it, I think, once. But it doesn't seem like they're working nearly as fast as the Tesla folks, the contractors over on the other side. So they'll probably have the building built before they finish this project. I hope not, though. You know, I have to say Texas is pretty efficient and fast with their projects compared to other states that are not. And I will not name any names, but everyone probably knows which state I'm talking about because I used to live there. All right. So that's this area. And how's our battery doing? We're getting close, so we're going to head in the direction of wrapping up this video. I hope you found this informative. And like I said, if you want more details and deep dives on this information, please head over to Joe Tetmeyer's channel. I also linked his video from yesterday in the description below because that is a particularly good video of his, in my opinion. I mean, they're all good videos. All of his videos are excellent because they provide so much great information. And I learn something every time, even if I'm watching, 3 or 4 times, I learn something. Or sometimes I'll just watch it once, but I'll pause on every one of those overlay screens and just read everything and then think about it. Because sometimes you have to think about it and go, wait a second, okay, where's that area? All right, I'm imagining it. Okay, that's what they're going to do. Okay, boom. And so it's really important to get to watch all the Quad Squad channels. Randy over at Terrafactory Texas and Jack over at Texas Terrafactory. And of course, Joe Tetmeyer and me, Jeff Roberts. If you watch all of our channels, even if you don't catch every episode, you're going to know a lot more about this site, the progress, what's happening day to day. It's just going to be more fulfilling. It's going to make the watching more fun because it'll be more meaningful. You'll know what stuff is. Like this area we're looking at right now is the new land acquisition, originally 381 acre purchase by Tesla that just happened last week. And things like that. So when you see these things on the site, you'll know this and it'll mean something. It won't be, oh, okay, there's some more green stuff. Great. What am I looking at, right? Because sometimes I have to say there's so much area out here that sometimes I'm looking around, I'm like, what am I looking at? I mean, it's beautiful in a weird kind of beauty way, right? But what am I looking at? Like, what are all these trees for? What is all this area going to be? What's happening here? What's this going to be? And why should I fly over it now? What if I don't fly over it because it looks like nothing, and then all of a sudden that becomes the ecological paradise, or it becomes something that we wish we had older footage on, from an underdeveloped area, or an undeveloped time of a developed area. All right, so we are flying back now. We're at 23%, so it's probably going to get a little dicey. I hope it doesn't. Let's see. I'm going to speed up. No, I'm not going to speed up because I'm going the max rate for battery consumption efficiency. If I speed up, it'll consume the battery faster per foot traveled, so I'm going to stay right here on this normal setting and put up with, roughly 20 to 22 miles an hour. And we are heading back. Thank you for watching, everybody, and a special shout out to my Patreons, my Patreon patrons, and thanks again to Ray for showing up today and saying hello. And I know Randy really appreciates you being a patron of his, but it really translates to all of us because it takes all of us to do this. We all feel like part of the same cause here because we are, and we all encourage each other and we all help each other. So if you support Randy, you support Jeff, and you support Joe, and you support Jack. So thank you, Ray, and all of Randy's supporters, and thank you, all of Jack's supporters, and all of Joe's supporters, and especially all of my supporters of this channel. Without you guys and gals, I could not do this. I literally would have tapped out probably a couple weeks ago when things got a little rough. And even now, like somebody stole my identity and created a fake Twitter account, believe it or not. I guess this stuff happens. Some people think it's like this Tesla short. And I don't know, but you know, even stuff like that, when you feel like you've got a community around you and people supporting you, you shrug it off. It's like, you know, whatever, we'll get rid of it. We'll get a bunch of people to gang up and report it, and we'll get it out of here. And that's what makes stuff like this doable, is I can come back every day because I know I have support from you guys. And for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's not just the financial support, it's literally the emotional support that makes the biggest difference in the daily thing, because otherwise it can be punishing. But I have to tell you, it hasn't been because of you guys, and thank you. And I love doing this. It's been totally fun, and I'm going to keep doing it. And just a reminder, let me know as I run out of battery here. I'm really close to the car though, so don't worry. In fact, there it is down there. A reminder to let me know if you are truly interested in me doing a 360 version of the Fly and Talk video format. And I will. I'll do it next week. Where's this thing landing? Okay, hold on. Where are we landing? I always forget I'm connected. Survey triangle. How about that? We'll land right here in the survey triangle. Oh! Okay, here we go with the mic again. For whatever reason, whenever I get in or out of the car, it just, I don't know, stuff goes haywire. Well, I did a test flight to make sure the drone was fine. I actually did, you know, distance test. I did all the different axes of movement, and did the video, obviously. So all the systems on the drone are working just fine. So it's fine. It's cool. It's tough. But what I realized is that DJI does this programming in their drone where once the battery gets to a certain low level, it just gives up. So what it does is it does a flip, because this has happened 3 times to me where the battery gets so low, and if I can't get to the drone and land it properly, it'll just stay where it is, and it'll do this flip maneuver where it flips up on its back and lands on its back, because there's less, I guess, electronics, or there's more of a shell, like a crab shell on the back of it, and you got the battery there, which is a solid structure. So it's pretty smart that it does that, but it's also really annoying because I was in the middle of making that landing, and I just had to move to the right to avoid the propellers hitting the, you know, that construction tape stuff, because I was landing in the triangle, and it wasn't a big deal. I mean, I've done stuff like this, you know, a million times before, but right at that point in time, the battery got to that magical level and did the flip maneuver onto the asphalt, and I was so upset at first at myself for even trying to land in the triangle, and then I realized it wasn't the propeller hitting the tape that flipped the drone over. It just got to that battery level and did its flip maneuver, and I was taking too long moving right. Anyway, okay, so this is just a big marketing message to sell t-shirts. So buy a t-shirt. I had to order more t-shirts because I ordered the wrong size ratios. I thought there'd be more bigger people ordering, and there's a lot of thinner people ordering, so I'm getting more large and mediums in. So I did another run of t-shirts that'll be in next week, and that way everybody gets the size they need. And that's what I was talking about here. And thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you next time.